Welcome in to Putting for Dough. Welcome to Odd Chopper Golf. Welcome to Masters Week. We have waited. We have played in Mayakoba. We have done swing season. We have gone to Florida. Now we go to Augusta. The best marquee doesn't get any better than this. We are finally here. I am Ben Rasa. Eytan Shander joins me. I mean, come on. It's the Super Bowl of golf for anyone watching. It's my favorite week of the year, probably in the entire sports calendar. I can't wait to celebrate it and hopefully pick the winner of the green jacket. Sir, I know you got a
That would be
golf
nice.
background. You're at Augusta, apparently, in spirit. Looking good. You ready to rock here?
Yeah. My brother-in-law is actually down there. Got to play a
That's
bunch of
awesome.
different courses. Yeah, was at the practice round, or I guess technically, as we're filming early in the week, still going on as we speak. And the level of you can't live vicariously through somebody who's doing that. You just have to be jealous. There's no oh man, do this for me. There's none of that. It's just you're at Augusta and I'm not. And you're right. This is the Super Bowl, the Daytona 500, the first 3 to 4 days of the NCAA tournament. This is all of that wrapped into one. There is nothing like this across sport. This is awesome. And yeah, we've suffered through a couple of tournaments, my friend, but I'm here and I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Yeah. We got some drama last week for sure.
Ooh.
Batia with a runaway, but not actually. I mean, just an insane rally from Denny McCarthy. Then we get to the playoff. He's got a bad shoulder. Denny kind of skulls a chip. That was just an awful short wedge
Dunked it. Just how do you
into the drink.
and he was playing well too. He's had a
Amazing.
stretch, this ridiculous stretch, 7 birdies to close out. And that's the way and you'll hate me for doing this because I'm sure I got a shitty number on it. But I texted you the live plus 1,400 ticket that I got on Denny, and then he forced the playoff and I got out. Ben, as soon as the playoff started, there was so much momentum. You could feel the crowd. Like that was an Akshay. That was a home crowd for him, regardless of where it was played. It felt like it was just insurmountable for Denny. But to lose that way, oh,
Yeah, it's tough.
gut wrenching.
He's been so close so many times. Obviously, Batia is now in the field. Rory was typical Rory, not in contention, but also finished
Yeah,
third.
come on. Rory, you know what Rory is, Ben? You know what your guy is?
Yeah,
Your
he's a
guy,
Grand
your
Slam
guy
winner.
is a losing basketball team in the final week of the NBA regular season, just pouring it on some Victor Wembanyama against the Sixers Sunday night. Like that's what Rory. There was no pressure on Rory on Sunday whatsoever.
He was just getting some reps in. But let's get to it. Listen, we're going to the big stakes. First of all, one of the things, and we've had a little while to digest this in terms of last year too. We get the live guys back. So we're going to
Yes,
be
we do.
talking about Brooks and Rahm and
I'm
Neiman and
excited.
guys that are not on this show typically. We're going to dive into the field. We're going to dive into the course. We're going to tell you about a sick deal. Of course, we're running for the Masters, but I want to just ask you, do you approach your process? Because it's been a good 2024 at Odd Chopper Golf. There's no doubt about it. I hope
Yep.
people have been enjoying. By the way, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Do you change your process for Augusta, or do you just approach this as, okay, we've got another tournament and some new names?
Yeah, I think my process kind of varies, right? Like anybody who has a model or anybody who is just flying by the seat of their pants like me and eyeballing stuff, or anybody who has a firm hand on the DFS world and how that correlates over. And I think you are more of the first two by all means. People, smarter people than me is what I'm saying. I think we adapt, right? Like we move in. There are certain things you pay attention to. Each course, I think, demands 2 to 3 key metrics that are required. I will say this, I'm not sure, Ben, if I weight the importance of course history more than any other place than Augusta. And that's going to be, I think, maybe the biggest change or even detour from my process is I'm going to look at guys who are playing well at Augusta. And that's first and foremost. Although, and I won't spoil it, there is a newbie this year that I'm definitely intrigued by, but I know history will tell me he can't win. He's probably a strong top 20 player.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's going to be a fascinating, not trend, that's not the right word, but as these guys get on tour, it seems more and more they're ready to win quicker, faster.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
agree with
as
that.
intimidated, and they come to these events, Thigala, Will Z, they're ready to go. Now, winning is hard, no matter if it's your 10th time at Augusta or your first, but it is definitely one of the many, many wrinkles to this. But let's get to the top tier. Let's get to it. So, Scotty Scheffler is where he should be. He's the
This
overwhelming
is insane.
favorite.
Come on.
Uh,
This is
he
insane. This is one of the most coveted events that puts the most amount of pressure on. This is more pressure to win this than the Open Championship. Like nothing is like this. And he's a 4-1 favorite, Ben.
he's already got one, and everything in his game. I mean, he's almost coming in on like, he's a 5 foot putt away from he could be going for 4 straight wins, which would just be uncharted territory. I'm not going to knock Scheffler if you're using boosts. If you're a very casual golf bettor and you say, I want to give myself the best chance for a Sunday sweat and I'm not concerned about the number, things like that, Scotty Scheffler is your guy. I'm not
Yeah.
betting Scotty Scheffler at 4-1. I didn't consider betting Scotty Scheffler at 4-1. But I wanted to ask you, is this a fair statement? Yay or nay? John Rahm is being quiet, going under the radar, even though he is the defending champ.
Yeah, I think some of this, well, I think it's two things, right? One, Rahm is not in our vision right
That's
now,
true.
and it's very difficult to quantify live as it's been the PGA Tour. The other part of this is that Scotty Scheffler, like it or not, folks, has distanced himself from Rory, and he's done the same, even if it's because of the first reason with John Rahm. So you might actually be getting a little break on a guy like Rahm at 11-1 based on how you truly read his chances of winning this thing, especially with the course history and how well he performs in majors. But I think that would be my answer as far as why there's such a wide gap between the two.
Yeah, I think it's well said. Out of sight, out of mind. And Scheffler has done everything and then some to consolidate the gains that he's made. So let's get to it. I made it 7 minutes and 30 seconds through the show without declaring Rory the
Mentioning Rory?
winner. Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
I
10 to
thought you.
1.
Okay.
He's coming off a stellar just miscut at Augusta, which shouldn't be possible. He has missed the cut in 2 of 3, which is insane, but he also was second and fifth. So he's just been all over. We know Rory's been closer. He's had a couple meltdowns. I still really believe that he can do it. And I believe he's going to do it. I do believe Rory at some point will win the green jacket. Now, let's be honest. I have said that Rory is going to win the major at Augusta and win the Masters for probably 5-6 straight years. And I've been close, as is he, and it hasn't happened. So I get it. I want to ask you about the top tier, of course, and specifically, if I can,
Mm-hmm.
Xander Schauffele, who's getting a lot of buzz. He is
Yep.
almost in the Rahm Rory tier. He's sitting 14-1. Again, you want to shop that on Odd Shopper. What do you make of Xander, and who is your first click?
So I don't have a problem necessarily betting Xander, and I don't even necessarily know if, just looking at this right now, if I had a problem at 14-1. In fact, it looks like 16-1 is out there. That's fine.
Yep.
I don't have a problem. Let's just use 16-1 since we know it's out there. I don't have a problem with 16-1, but I feel better about betting Brooks at 20-1 between the two. Look, I think Xander is playing exceptional golf when we've seen him. And clearly we've seen coming up short on American soil has been an issue for him. But there is going to be a breakthrough and there's going to be this amazing celebration. And it's going to be awesome television. And we're all going to be cheering for that moment in sport. I just don't think it happens this week. I think that we've seen in a field like this, there is a lot of guys coming at him. And as motivated as he is, we've seen him fall short. And you know what? I think that might be unfair as well as we've seen him play so far this year, Ben. But I'll pivot to Koepka at 20-1. And this is a guy who multi-major winner, right? 5 over and is looking for this. This is the elusive. I love Brooks Koepka because he's all of us. He's the guy that hates the bullshit, the Zoizo. He hates the nonsense. He'll show up for the majors. He'll show up for 5 events all year on the PGA Tour. I don't know what the hell's going on at Live because I'm not watching
Yeah.
it like that. But that's my point, Ben, is give me Brooks Koepka 20-1. And also, I don't have to rely on putting as much. Look at how many bad or questionable putters have won the Masters over the last handful of years. So I think Brooks Koepka 20-1 is just the best number on that board. I'm going to play another guy. I'll throw it back to you first, but that's my guy in Koepka.
Okay. Yeah, listen. Brooks is I mean, he has coined himself this and he's backed it up. He's, the big game hunter. He shows up in the biggest events. He's vocal about it. He believes, I'm not going to do the whole Brooks where he says only a handful of guys can even win these because of a mentality of being able to go and get it. And he's proven that. I'm not a big Brooks fan. I'll be honest, but the results don't lie. He's been really close. He's been just as close as Rory has at Augusta. He's missed some cuts as Rory has, but he's also peppering that first page of the leaderboard. Immediately, though, Rahm, Brooks, Neiman, you have 3 live guys amongst the first, what is that? The first 10 names on the board. I'm not surprised by that, but at the same time, it is fascinating that the board is saying and the market is saying there's some serious win equity coming from live. And Neiman is a guy I wanted to bet. I do have a small, position from way back, nothing special. 28-1, not my favorite number, but I do like the setup for Neiman. I'm just not sure he's ready to make the leap just yet.
Yeah, I don't like the number, to be honest with you, but I do like the motivate. First off, he hasn't really played well here overall. Does that concern you? We just talked
So,
about course. Now, to be fair, you didn't jump on the weight maybe of the course history as much as
no,
I
I
did,
agree
but
with you. I
oh,
do.
okay, okay. I mean,
Um,
no
but
top 15s over the last 5 years for Joaquin.
So, what I think is fascinating about course history here is that I do think there is an element of getting reps and building. We saw that with Decky. He played
Yep.
okay here for a while, then he won. We saw that with Reed. He played okay here and then he won. Neiman hasn't been good, but his 3 majors, 40th or at Augusta, 40th, 35th, 16th. He has gotten better over the last 3 years here. So it does seem like he's trending upward. Doesn't mean it just automatically continues, but I do think Neiman's going to have some top tens, plenty of top tens at his Augusta career when it's all said and done. If you're telling me 28-1 on Neiman, or I could get, 35-1 on Wyndham Clark, I could get forty to
Yeah.
one on Finau, which is up to 45 at other books. I think I'm more apt to go to that next tier. Are you more apt to go there?
Yeah, the one thing that does intrigue me about Neiman is he gets this exemption, and that's why he's in. And it's kind of, I don't know why, but it reminded me of like the Power 5 11 seed on the play-in that everybody's like, this team shouldn't, USC, like a couple of years, right? Like they shouldn't be here. And then all of a sudden you see them reel off like 3 wins. And again, I think Neiman's price is probably the only thing that would push me away. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. There is definitely a carryover from struggling to, okay, you figured this thing out. I'm with you where, like, okay, I'm not going to gloss over this because I do think that I'm sure the number has dipped a little bit, but at 25-1, and that's where I still saw
Okay.
the highest number. At 25, I just wanted to bring him up because I'm going to play Wyndham Clark as well as far as the top 20. He's new. I don't know if, looking at guys who are showing up, I think overall. But here's the thing outside of Wyndham Clark's fresh take on Augusta, Hideki Matsuyama at 25-1. Riviera, we saw him play well. That usually correlates over here. He played exceptionally well last week at the Valero. And we all thought going into it with that report that he was cooked, that he was hurt, that it was just going to be done. I don't want to gloss over that. He's going to make my card this week in some
Okay.
capacity, Ben.
Yeah, listen, Decky, another guy, he's already got one. And he's done it here. He can get going. His putting comes and goes. His short game's phenomenal. He obviously can handle what this course challenges you to do, long irons. The length is not an issue. Again, I am not saying Decky is where I'm honing in. But if you told me you wanted to add Decky to the card, I totally get it. Absolutely. One of the guys that is on my list. I plan to be over. I just don't know if it's going to be an outright. We're going to talk a
Yeah,
little about
I
top
get that.
tens. We're going to talk about some head-to-heads, and certainly, honestly, I was going to save it, but no better time to tell people about this than
Oh
you have
yeah,
heard
please.
about Odd Chopper. Obviously, you have seen some of these tools. I'll bring some up right now. We have had success here. The subs, it's growing the community. And for the Masters to celebrate, it's not just the Masters. NBA is going on, MLB is going on, NHL, EPL. There's all sorts of stuff. We are opening it up for a week for $1. So you're going to get everything from Discord to the tools to whatever you want. It's all part of the Odd Chopper brand. Again, I brought up our Discord. You can see all our channels. We got bets dropping, people sweating. It's a great time. All of it for $1. The link is below. You have to use the code MASTERS. So when you get to checkout, just apply that code and you are in for $1 for a week. And you get to check out and use this to hopefully make real money and just have a great time. This expires, though it's only running until the start of the Masters. So you got a couple of days to do it. If you're watching this on a Tuesday, you're watching this on a Wednesday, you want to sign up, that's awesome. Use that code and you'll get in for $1 for a week. Code Masters. If you have any trouble, at Shander Bets, at JazzRazDFS, we're here to help. We got you covered. But I wanted to get to that because I know you're excited about
Yes,
having a lot of new faces in Discord and
absolutely.
building these tools. They got me betting MLB. Enough said.
Yeah,
That's how
it's
you know it
amazing.
works.
Seriously, that's exactly how you know it works. What's more impressive, by the way, that you went 10 minutes without mentioning Rory McIlroy as the winner of this year's major at Augusta, the Masters, not major, the Masters, or the fact that you haven't mentioned, or neither one of us have mentioned anything solar or eclipse through 17 minutes of
I'm
the
not a
show.
big eclipse. I
Where are
don't
your where are
understand.
your solar eclipse
I
glasses?
don't even get me started. Hit me in the comments if I'm just. I mean, I could be a moron for several reasons.
You're not the only one. Like,
I
don't
don't
paint
get it.
me
I
as
don't
somebody who's on the
understand
opposite side.
what I do not understand the eclipse hype. Like, what exactly are we doing there? Yeah, that's a no for me. But you know what's? I mean, this could be equally damaging to your
Oh,
retinas. Is
no.
Tony Finau
No. You
at
cannot look
40?
at Tony Finau, playing a Masters tournament
No,
without those
yeah,
glasses.
you need
You
those
need
glasses
eclipse
to click
glasses.
this. Tony Finau he fits kind of that profile that I'm talking
He
about.
absolutely does.
He's gotten a lot of reps at Augusta. He's got a fifth, he's got a 10th, he's been close. He has built up, and I do think that Tony Finau has major level winning game. I believe that he can do that. 40, 45 to 1 is out there. Now, this is a crowded range. I want to hear what you have to say because you got like DJ, JT, Fitzy, Morikawa, who's a mess right now, Fleetwood, Cam Young, Thigala. Are any of these names on your card?
First off, let me say that I will take any time or opportunity to throw a shot your way, especially on this show.
Please.
As look, but I can't. And as much as I'd like to make fun of the Finau play, I think it's fantastic. He fits a lot of metrics
He
at
does.
Augusta: driving distance, par five, being able to knock down second shots on par fives from 200 plus out. We know too that, what is it, 13 got extended now to a 545 range. So the layup has become extra special for a lot of guys not looking to get there in two. Finau with distance can overcompensate for that, or can compensate, I should say, for that. I love that play. No, I may tail you on that
Come
and
on in.
ruin it for you. Of the people that you have listed right now, you did say his name. Are you not on board with Wyndham as well? Because I
No,
think Wyndham
I
Clark.
am. Again,
The
there's
problem,
so
though, is
many
that
clips.
newcomers don't win.
Yeah, but again, I think that Wyndham Clark is somebody that he has already broken trends. He's not supposed to have a major at all, and he does. Do I think that Wyndham Clark is he's not. I mean, I can just tell you, he is not my primary click in the outright markets. Rory, Finau, a couple other guys. But if you want to extend your card, Wyndham Clark is a reasonable play at 35. He has proven that to me. He has done enough to be there. Do I think can I live without him on the card? I could, absolutely. But if you're saying, you know what, it's a major and I'm going to look to maybe have a couple more guys, I may look to him in some type of market. Again, it's all about the number. Remember that. But yeah, he's behind Finau for me, though. I like Finau better.
Yeah, the only other guy. Look, I'm going to take plus money. By the way, for Wyndham Clark, top 20. I know we'll get into a little bit more on
Okay.
That's probably the way I'll play it. Look, it's hard to ignore the first off. Get Colin Morikawa's name. Just get him out of here at
Just
this
omit
point.
it. Okay.
And here's the thing too is that I don't necessarily think he's like a bad fit per se. The one guy, and I know, shout out to Fitzy, he had a great Sunday and he really came in strong at the end at the Valero. The one guy that's on here that I'm truly interested in playing, but it's not going to be outright, it's going to be matchups in two balls, is Shane Lowry. We've
Yeah.
seen consistent finishes from Shane here at Augusta, and that's a guy that I want to target. I don't think, Ben, that he's going to outlast this field, and I'll probably look at maybe a top 20 for him, but I'm definitely intrigued on who they match him up because he's in that 45-1 range. That's where I'm intrigued to see where he gets matched up two balls as well.
Yeah, plus 135 on FanDuel for a top 20 right now. Again, make sure you shop. We're going to be talking about this extensively in Discord. Best numbers, where to get these plays,
Getting for
and
a
what we're
dollar.
seeing as the pairings come out. I think, just to kind of sum it up, no, this has been the year of the crazy, crazy long shot. I don't see that this week. My card basically ends in the 50-1 range. I don't have outrights on guys that are like 200-1. I think it's cool. I think some of them could contend, but I do not have these type of players on my card this week. I just wanted to make sure we didn't just gloss over all their names, but I'm not betting those type of guys for outrights.
No, I get it that you just had a guy who's a hometown favorite for no matter where you live, like just massive crowd favorite win, but you can't bet him this week, no matter that number. My God, like if Tom Kim could just figure out like one thing, he would be so much more enjoyable to watch play golf. You've got a interesting group of names that
Yeah.
you stop right there. I'll give you one. Now I got
Okay.
him at 90-1 at BetMGM.
Okay.
So I don't know what he is on FanDuel, but there he is right there. 75-1 versus 90-1 for Siwoo Kim. So, and you knew already where I was going at that number. So, look, if you're going to take a long shot, if you're going to take somebody and you want to have some fun, first off, I think he's a great bet at plus 175 at MGM for a top 20 play because of how well he's just been gaining strokes and striking the ball. This would be my guy, Ben. If you're looking at a
Okay.
long shot, if you're looking at somebody here who could break through and beat a field and play consistent golf and not have to make every single 20-foot putt, it's Siwoo Kim.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, Siwoo stormed on the scene many years ago with the players. He's a big time player. He knows what he's doing. Not going to push back. Again, it's all about, this is my philosophy on golf in general. I try to identify players that I think are in a good position. Then I take them and I look at every market I can find, from outright,
Yep.
top 5, matchups, 3 balls, top 20s. And I say, what number is acceptable? What number has the value? And then I pair them, because you can love a player and sometimes there's just no path. And likewise, sometimes the number is really good and that will put you on someone that maybe you weren't overly keen to get to. And I think that's okay too. But yeah, see Woo on my screen right now, plus 175 for that top 20. This is where some of those names I think are interesting. Ty Hatton plus 160 for a top 20. That's a guy that didn't get to my outright card, and I know Hatton's got a love-hate relationship with a lot of courses.
This one is a little surprising to hear. He has struggled also.
Ty Hatton, absolutely.
No top 15s over the last 5 for Hatton either.
No, but he had an 18th in there. He was 34th last year. He's a good player now. What the hell is Ty Hatton doing? It's difficult to know that, and it's one of those things. I feel more comfortable in that top 20 market with some of these guys. I don't want to say famous last words. The Masters, in theory, isn't the most brutal cut to make. It's not like the U.S. Open or anything like that. Let's see what we can do with those guys. But yeah, I think there's a lot to get to in these type of markets. Last thing
Give me
before
Corey
we,
Connors, by the way, plus 190. That's a guy who has
he's been
multiple
good.
top 10s over the last 5 years.
Corey Connors just steps it up. I mean, not to if you want DFS coverage, stochastic, we've got you
There you go.
covered. But he's going to be super popular in the DFS streets because he's reliable, he's consistent at Augusta, seems unfazed by any conditions. Corey Connor's just a player. I wanted to ask you before we get out of here, are you doing anything with Tiger at all?
No, I'm
Okay.
not. This is not the Genesis. This is not his thing. This is so much big. This is the only place, right or wrong, and I'm not saying it's either, but this is the only golf course and the only event on any single tour in the world, Ben, that's bigger than Tiger. And it's crazy because I think Tiger could show up elsewhere, the Open, like else, and it would just be this magnet. He's going to be talked about. He's going to have a camera. All that's I'm staying as far away from. I'm not even fading him. I'm just staying away from him.
Yeah, the thing, I think you said it, it's almost like the Masters is so big that I think it's actually worse because I know trying to play Tiger's going to do anything and then some to get in this field and give it a go. And
Yeah.
he might not even be close to being ready. Maybe he pulls off a miracle and he plays well. I'm not paying to find out. I'm not necessarily going to short his three ball, although that is an option. We'll wait and see on the tee times. But as much as I love Tiger, he's not even a thought on my card this week. I just want to make sure people knew that. Now,
Yep.
I think we've done it.
I think so. Not
Anyone
bad.
has not bad at all. Any questions? Again, I'm just gonna say this real quick. $1 for the week of Odd Shopper. It is available for it's only until they tee off on Thursday. So when you check out, the link is below. Just apply the code MASTERS and you will see that week price go to $1 and you are in, and it's golf and NBA and NHL and MLB and whatever you want. Discord tools, it's all there for you. We want to grow our community, and the support has just been outstanding. And then
Awesome.
one
Thank you.
one last thing. I know I'm not going to forget this because you always remind me to tell the people because we don't have Bet365, but
No.
states that do 5 into 150. So if you want to make some extra golf bets and you happen to be in Arizona, Indiana, Iowa, North Carolina, New Jersey, Colorado, Louisiana, Ohio, Virginia, and Kentucky, you got it. Again, links below. You bet 5, win or lose, 150 in bonus bets. It's that simple. Don't need to spend a lot of time on it. You got to be 21 plus, 18 in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. God, what a fantastic week it is going to be.
I
Any
can't wait.
final thoughts for the people? Tell them.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't do this show in your solar eclipse glasses, I must say.
Oh, yes, because I have those right over there. Sure. Like what? Where do you go to even get those?
Anywhere. They're at
Okay.
the gas station, which tells you even more that you shouldn't be wearing these things. Like the fact that you could show up at the Wawa or the Citgo or whatever it is, the damn thing in Alabama, whatever gas station you are next to. I mean, well, that's not a good sign that this stuff is just readily available to the public. There you go. You can look at
Friends,
it in the eclipse. Look at the
stay
sun.
safe out there with the eclipse. Make sure your eyes are rested for Sunday when
For
they are
Tony
putting that
Finau.
jacket on Rory. You need to see it.
Would
I
you
don't want
rather have Finau or Rory win? Rory is your heart.
to.
Finau is your wallet. This is the truth. On the way out, why don't you answer that one?
All right. We'll see you guys next week. And appreciate everyone tuning in again. If you have any questions,
See
just
ya.
hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Discord. Let's make some money. Enjoy
Oh,
the
Brooks.
Masters.